So suppressing your emotions is more common amongst men than it is amongst women. Usually men will suppress their emotions when they find out something tragic, they go through a breakup, they don't get what they want. It's easy to kind of suppress what you're feeling. Your emotions can come out through alcohol, through drugs, through self-harming yourself, possibly like loneliness, isolation, and not facing your emotions. So whenever you feel some emotion or you feel sadness or anger or frustration, the last thing you want to do is suppress them. Don't suppress your emotions. Don't put yourself down for why you feel. What you feel is what you feel, and your feelings are valid because they're your feelings. And nobody can tell you how to feel. Nobody can tell you you're wrong for feeling what you feel. If you have a lot of pain because you broke an arm or something, maybe to somebody else their pain tolerance is higher, but maybe yours is, maybe not. And that's okay. Everybody is different. We all go through different things, different struggles. We learn to persevere because when you do suppress them, they will come out in another way, in ways that you may not have intended them to come out, but they do, because in order to feel an emotion or in order to work through an emotion, you want to work through it through motion. That's why it's called emotion, right? So in order to work through your pain, work through your sadness, work through whatever you're feeling, you have to physically work your body, or mentally stimulate your mind. Maybe perhaps doing a puzzle or going for a walk or something physical, right? Always challenging yourself physically. Jiu-jitsu is a really good way of training yourself, your physicality, because what jiu-jitsu does is you are constantly having to focus on different patterns and movements at one point in time. If you're not into jiu-jitsu, you could do something like boxing is another really good one, or technical lifting if you're into technical lifting, like powerlifting, or just even pumping muscle. But anything physical is what will help you work through your emotions. The last thing you want to do is suppress your emotions, because there's really no positive when you suppress your emotions. You're just eventually going to feel those emotions somehow in another way. It's going to manifest in another way. And this is the other thing, is that some people let their emotions run their life, right? They have a feeling, they feel sad, and they feel mad and frustrated. Maybe they grew up in a poor household, they feel life is unfair. Life is unfair, it will never be fair. People have certain advantages over others. Some people have privilege over others, and that's not your job to sit and complain as to why is life unfair. Accept the reality. There is a lot of good people in the world, there's a lot of bad people in the world, there's a lot of evil in the world. And when you take a bird's eye view, take a step back, what do you have right now, right? If you're feeling frustrated and lonely and sad and mad, we all kind of go through these things. Everyone goes through them at some point in their life. So the last thing you want to do is sit and cry and not do anything. Okay, so for example, if you were in the military and your friends passed away because you guys were in war, your friends wouldn't want you to sit around and drink yourself to death. Your friends want you to go out and to live and to create something and to build something and to pursue something and to work through things and to work towards a goal. That's what your friends and your family want you to do when they leave, right? We all have people in our life that leave us through death, what have you, and that's just part of life. That is just part of life. And how do you work through that? You just work through it by accepting it. And it's okay to feel sad and frustrated and mad, but don't let those feelings ruin your life. Don't let those feelings dictate your next move to affect you in a negative light, right? So for example, I talk about relationships. Somebody cheats on you, or they broke up with you, or whatever. Okay, I know what it's like to have that feeling, somebody broken up with you, whatever, or things just didn't work out. It's a horrible feeling. It's a really sad, really debilitating, horrible feeling. If you really cared about that person, it's not a good feeling. But you can't sit there and cry for hours on end, okay? Because you're better than that. There's a lot more things in life to live for. And fall in love with yourself, because when you fall in love with yourself, you essentially not necessarily don't need anybody, because you still need people, but you learn to kind of accept yourself and learn to self-soothe and learn to work through those feelings. It's okay to feel what you feel. It's okay if you still get choked up about something that happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago, or when you were a little kid. The difference is letting those emotions control you versus you controlling them. So somebody did you wrong. Are you going to hold it against them? Are you going to continue to say, oh, it's all your fault, blah, blah, blah? No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that to them, and you don't want to do that to yourself. Someone did you wrong and they came back, they apologized. Okay, forgive them. And then you have the power to decide, okay, whether or not you want this person back in your life, right? So work through those emotions. Don't suppress them. Don't minimize your feelings. Your feelings are valid. Whatever you're feeling is what you're feeling. Again, perception's reality, right? I made a video talking about perception's reality, and maybe the person that did whatever they did to you, maybe they didn't think that they were in the wrong, right? And that's valid for them. So just learn to not suppress them, work through your feelings, and well, something that you can do right now is to be simply grateful. Be simply grateful for what you have. Be simply grateful for your health. If you're able to watch this right now, be grateful you have eyes. Be grateful you have ears and you can hear me, right? Those are all powerful things that people often take for granted, that will help you kind of raise your vibration and feel a little bit happier than maybe what you're currently feeling. And this is the other thing. When you're stuck in emotions, getting cluttered in emotions is like being stuck in the woods. You can't get out. There's all these trees around you and you can't find your way because you're lost. You're in all of these trees and you don't know the way. You don't have a compass, you don't have a map, you have nothing. So what do? Right? What you have to do is start walking. Because just like in the woods, just like in your emotions, right? You're cluttered. You don't know what to feel, you don't know what to think. Okay, the last thing you want to do is sit there in the woods because there's going to be some sort of snake that's going to come out of nowhere and he's going to bite you. So you have to get up and you have to move. Don't sit there. Get up and start walking. Get up, start walking, start breathing, and start working through. Because when you start walking, you start working through those emotions, you're going to start to get some answers. God's going to talk to you. God's going to tell you things that you maybe didn't know about yourself. Maybe you could have done better. What you could have done, what you could have said better, how you could have came different, right? You're stuck, you're sad, you're frustrated, start walking. That's all you have to do. Once you start walking, you'll get some answers and then you'll be okay.